welcome back. How are you all? I hope all of you are alright in these days. The topic of today's online session is letter writing. In this module, we will learn how to write a formal letter. Before going in details about formal letter, let us talk about what is a letter. A letter is a written message conveyed from one person to another person through a medium. Letters can be formal and informal. Besides a means of communication and a store of information, letter writing has played a role in the reproduction of writing as an art throughout history. Letters have been sent since antiquity and are mentioned in the Iliad. Historians Herodotus and Thucydides mentioned and utilized letters in their writings. Formal letters. There are several types of letters. They are formal letters, informal letters, and semi-formal letters. So in this module, we are going to discuss about a formal letter. Here you have an introduction about formal letter. A formal letter is an effective means of written communication between individuals, officials, or organizations. Purpose of a formal letter. A formal letter is written for various purposes to an editor of a newspaper, magazine, or journal, a principal or other professional, to a doctor for an appointment, to a business person for inquiry, to a concerned authority to lodge a complaint, apologize, place an order, seek or give an information. In your exam, you are asked to write down an application either to an editor of a newspaper or to a principal. So we are going to discuss about these two types of application in this module. Tone and language of a formal letter. So you must be careful about tone and language of a formal letter. Always write a formal letter in a tone that is polite, inoffensive, and more formal than the everyday language. This is applicable even for letters of complaint. The polite tone does not mean that the sender uses terms like begging the favors of and esteemed as they denote servility. Use terms like kindly, please, request, but do not go overboard in their use. So, these things are very important, you see. Avoid using cliches. Be accurate, brief, and precise. And this is the most important thing of formal letter. While you are writing a formal letter, be accurate, brief, and precise. Use short, uncomplicated sentence structure to avoid ambiguity and confusion. Here you have a format of a formal letter. While writing a formal letter, use the block format that has no indentation and these left aligned. Leave a line between the various elements and also between paragraphs. And remember, don't mix up the traditional and the new block format. So you know what I want to mean you. That is, don't write to the editor. Write only the editor. Right? Students, let's talk about this formal letter. This application or formal letter is written in block format and this is left aligned. A line or space was left while writing this letter between the various elements and also between the paragraphs. Understand? So here you have another example of a formal letter or an application. Let's analyze it in details. At first, receiver's designation and address. Write down the date first. You can write down the date in order, just like 16th May 2020. Or you can write down May 16, 2020. Then leave a space and then write down the designation. Write down the official address then. Start with the name and designation, just like Mr. Bose, Managing Director. If you don't know the name, write down the designation only. Even though you know the name, but you don't want to mention it, then write down the designation only, just like the editor, the managing director. Write the official address right below the designation without leaving a line. Understand? So let's talk about subject. The subject states the precise objective for writing the letter. The receiver forwards the letter to the concerned department on the basis of the subject, so that write the subject after leaving a line below the receiver's address and above the salutation. You see here, just after the address and above the salutation. Alright, you can write down the subject just this way: request for leave or order for sports equipment, prayer for opening a bank account. So remember that your subject must be specific and you have to make it short. Okay? So the subject must be specific in stating the purpose of writing. Alright. And also remember, while writing a subject, then must add ing with the verb. Here you see, for setting up a debating club. Okay, seeking permission to go to a study tour. Or you can use the infinitive form, to plus verb form. Salutation of a formal letter. So what is salutation? Salutation means greeting. While writing a formal letter, you must greet your receiver, just like sir. Write down sir, and sir is the most suitable salutation in writing the formal letter. Because while we are writing, we can write down also dear sir, dear ma'am, dear madam, and also sir, ma'am. But most suitable word is sir. And don't use comma after writing the salutation. Understand? Dear students, body of a formal letter is a very important part because this forms the core of the letter. Divide the body into three short paragraphs. These three short paragraphs are very, very important. You can divide it in two parts also. So while dividing these paragraphs in three different parts, then state the purpose of writing the letter in the first paragraph. That means the first paragraph states the purpose of writing the letter. State the purpose in a polite and direct language. You may need to make a reference to a previous letter article or report in a newspaper or an advertisement sometimes. In the second paragraph, mention the specific details of the subject of the letter, the nature of the problem, details of the request, and the like. In there, provide more background information on the subject of the letter. In the third paragraph, some of the letter of action, suggestion, or appeal is stated. This paragraph mentions what you want the receiver to do. So here, one more important thing to notice. You see, we therefore pray and hope that before and after therefore you have to put comma, and you must put comma after and before therefore. All right. So complementary clause. Complementary clause is a short polite closing that closes the letter. So write it below the third paragraph of the body and write just this way: yours sincerely, or you can write down sincerely yours and leave 2 lines before writing it. Leave 2 lines, right? You can write down yours truly, or in reverse, sincerely yours or truly yours. Do not use any punctuation mark here, and also do not put comma after the second word. So here is the format in details. All right. I hope you have understood this matter. Dear students, now it's your turn. Try to write down these 3 reports. Number 1 is, on behalf of the students of your class, write an application to the principal of your college for improving computer lab facilities. Number 2, write an application to the principal of your college requesting him for allowing to go for a study tour. Number 3, suppose you are Raju or Mina. You read in class 12. There is no multimedia facility in your classroom. Now write an application to the principal of your college requesting him to provide multimedia facilities in your classroom. So dear students, if you feel any problem while writing this report, feel free to ask me. That's all for today. Take care. Thanks to you all.